Alright, so welcome to the video, everyone. This is Duel Corp. It is a semi-MMO Souls-like action game, pretty much. Decided to make this short-ish, hopefully, video to kind of explain some things, because some people just don't know. You know, there's some information, but as of right now, there's not really any information out there for people to find out. So I'm going to do this. We're going to start a new character. This is the most recent build than what it was released with, because they did change some things that didn't really go well. And the changes that they did were huge. They made it a lot better, but we'll get into that. So our character doesn't really matter, right? We're just gonna make something. We're gonna start with we're just gonna make our ever loved character Bleb. So your starting class, the only thing that matters here is your starting stats. So the knight here has more strength than your priest will. Your priest has more faith and intelligence, right? So it's pretty standard, pretty simple, very Souls-like in that aspect. The only thing that changes is your ring. It has a different effect depending on your starting class, but you can get all these rings later on just by playing the game. So it doesn't really matter what you start with, just kind of gives you more stats to a specific style that you are probably aiming for. So we're gonna do knight. My very first class was assassin, and it wasn't bad. It was a agility faith build, but we're gonna do knight. Very simple, strength, and then we're going health and stamina. That's pretty much all we're gonna be doing. Very basic. So we're gonna make this character. It's gonna go in, and everyone will start in the same area. There is a very basic story to this game. Pretty much you were dead, then you got revived by nothing, really. And this is where everyone starts, right? So these little signs on the ground are messages. They tell you kind of how to play the game, your controls. I 100% recommend using a controller. I tried mouse and keyboard at first. The combat system just doesn't fit well with mouse and keyboard. So you can sprint, right bumper, you can attack with I'm using an Xbox controller, so it's X, Y, and B. It is directional based combat, which is pretty cool because you have to attack based on the directions, but then your blocking is also based on the directions, right? So you can lock on the enemies just like in normal Souls games. This guy is technically a friendly. You can talk to him, right? And for some reason they just have you kill him anyway, or you can just straight up kill him. He drops pretty much nothing, right? So dodge with A, which is also how you interact. That is one thing that they have kind of changed around, is some of the controls were really harsh on trying to do certain things in the game, Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. So lock on, you know, this guy left. Oh, I have no stamina. Right, so your combos cannot be the same direction. So this is XX, so you can't do lefts like that. If you do X, Y, B, and if you have enough stamina, you can keep going. You cannot combo the same direction unless you go with a different direction. Right, so left, up, left works. Left, left does not work. So we're just kind of come over here. This is your first armored person. I was supposed to backstab, but I ended up running too far. I did pick up the armor over there on the left. Your armor and your gear all have a stat rolled on them. This armor gives me 1 to strength. There is a quest that 0-20 question marks. It doesn't tell you what the quest is. You kind of just have to figure that out as you go. The armor gives 10% physical defense, 2% magic resist, and a 25 dodge. So naturally, those should be kind of self-explanatory, but physical defense, obviously, the attacks made from weapons are physical damage, and that kind of just reduces that. Magic resist, all the spells and stuff, you know, you'll take 2% less damage. Dodge is, from my understanding, the stamina cost. So the higher the dodge, the lower your stamina will cost for dodging. And then the attribute requirements are naturally what stats you need to properly equip this gear. This one just requires you to have at least 1 strength. We have 17, so we can easily do that. Our sword that we started with gives us 1 strength as well. Another quest, 0-20. On the right here are all your different stats. So your total damage, your base damage, and your bonus damage. So this weapon has a base damage of 129, but with all the scaling, the bonus damage is 58, which you add those together, you get 187. The strength scaling is 163%. So based on our strength, 163% of that will be added as bonus damage. The agility, same thing, 27% of our agility will be added as bonus damage. It doesn't scale with intelligence, it doesn't scale with faith. It has 126% critical damage. Daggers typically have more critical damage, which are your riposte, your backstabs, those kind of things. Attack cost is 25, so that's how much stamina it costs to swing this sword. And then your parry cost is how much stamina it costs when you block an attack, right? So it's all very simple. But yeah, you got rings, do the same thing. They give me 1 vitality. There's a quest, but then whenever I block or parry an attack, I gain super armor. Super armor reduces damage taken and ignores the next incoming attacks while attacking. So each ring has its own little buff. There is a second equipment slot. We don't have any secondary equipment, but that'll be for like bows, shields, or if you're going to dual wield, or maybe you want to have like a 2-handed sword in your main hand, a 1-handed sword in your offhand, so you can kind of switch between them if you want like a faster sword over, you know, a slower 2-handed sword. So we're gonna kind of just move on to the first boss. Is kind of a check on the combat system. So this is part of the main quest. You don't have to do this. If you are struggling, you can go ahead, and if you go left right here to like that little lighter area, you can leave this area, but the game kind of wants you to do this boss fight. It's really neat. It does teach you about the combat system, directional blocking, dodging, you know, whatever you're going to be doing. and looking for your opportunities, there is a stamina for the enemies, and if you get a perfect parry when they're going to run out of stamina, that will open them up for a riposte, and hopefully I can get that done. So up, right. So they all have like their own little combos that they will do. His is he'll do the up to the right or the right to the left. So that was a riposte because we broke his stamina bar with the parry. Sometimes you can sneak in an attack if you want. When he goes down, you can hit him some more. But for the most part, you want to make sure that you have stamina to block his attacks, at least if you can't get the parries off. So every single one of these guys that have a health bar, they are considered generals, and when they hit half health, they become something else. So usually they get more attacks. I think he gets longer combos. But then he also has the wings to fly up and do that like shadow ball attack essentially. But yeah, it is a nice little start to the game. Like I said, once you get him figured out, you know his combos, and you can just parry, take him out. And that is the Seeker. He is the very first tutorial boss. Now, once you get enough silver, which is used for every single thing in this game, leveling up, buying stuff, hiring people to join you on your quests. This is up to 4 players. You can hire up to 2 other people to come with you. Now, you have to be certain levels to hire those people, but if you have friends, you can have up to 4 players with you. So this is the overworld here, right? It's pretty big. There are towns. The Night's Rest is the tutorial area. If you head north from Night's Rest, you will find the hideout. The hideout is kind of your home base. This is where the ghost lady that we just kind of saved as the Seeker had her trapped in the vial that we just got will be here. She can be used to level yourself up, but anywhere she will be, there is a bonfire, which is those little candles right out this door. You can do the same thing there. They did add resetting skill points. The main thing with this you need to know is it does not reset stats. It only resets your skill tree, right? So as you level up, you will get a skill point, and you can use this to make your character, you know, get different skills, spells, stats, you know, whatever you are feeling at the time. Which for now, we're just gonna, you know what, let's increase our attack speed with one-handed swords. So the main campaign quest wants you to do certain things. It's pretty short, so you don't really have to do it if you don't want to. But this is the hideout. Blacksmith over here can be used to level up your weapons or craft. So you can craft the night steel shards to upgrade your weapons. Currently they can go to +6. It takes 6 night steel shards to get this weapon to +3, and then the next tier of I think they're called whispering steel shards, something like that. That will take your weapon from +3 to +6, and it also takes 6 of those. We don't currently have any, and we can't currently make any, so we're not going to be worrying about it. There is one thing people have been kind of asking about, and that is your potions. So this lady is the cook. She will let you cook specific meals, consumables that will give you stats. So this one right here, which is Cocoa Cauldron, gives you +2 vitality until you die or you rest. Those can stack. You can also buy them, right? So if you want to just roll around with food constantly, you can buy them for silver. You can craft them if you have the recipes, and they will just be pretty much permanent stat increases until you rest or die. There are some hidden little paths from sometimes in places that will lead you to like an item or something. Copper coins are kind of like just basic items that you sell to get silver, since silver is used for everything. Now the potions, which is really big. You can assign your potions. You know, you start with 3, so you can have it however you want. I'm gonna keep it 2 healing potions, 1 mana potion. But one of the things people have been asking about is there are technically ways to increase the amount you have. There are, to my knowledge, 2 items that will give you an extra potion. Now, one of them is a little cheeky. The other one, if I remember correctly, should be over here at the castle. But there is an item called a rune. And this item, what it does when you use it, will take you back to the hideout. And there's a very tall little spot that has an item on it that will give you the item to give you an extra potion. Now, this bridge can't you can cross it as long as they are busy, or if you have 1,000 rep. They don't aggro onto you. Now, the 1,000 rep takes a while to gain. You have to do quests. Usually you want to do the contracts, which we're going to get into. I'm just picking up some items here to kind of make things a little bit easier. That is where the faction leader is. I can't really talk to him because if you walk in there, everyone will aggro. So for contracts, which is one of the main ways to get silver with the newest update that they did, you'll come talk to these people, click on contracts, they'll have 2. So this contract is to gather all resources. This contract is to kill enemies that are carrying a shield. Your reward will be lich silver. The higher the level the contract, the more lich silver you will get, which means, you know, doing those will give you what is required to level up. You can also just spam conquests if you really want to. That is so far the fastest way to just grind levels. This will put you in a group with other players to run through one of like the contracts, and you just keep doing that. Sometimes you'll get put with people that are way higher level than you that will just carry you through and all that, or sometimes you will be the one that is the highest level carrying others. They do let you PvP in this. It is pretty fast for the most part. They did change it. Originally there was no level limits. My very first experience in PvP was I was level 3 teamed up with a level like 6 and the other team had a level 40 who one-shot both of us. Since then, they did add a level cap, so 15 levels one way or the other, plus minus. So level 3, the highest you would be able to encounter is level 18. But all these towns have this like church, pretty much. That is where the contracts are. So this town has lower level contracts, which is kind of what we want, because level 5 is definitely not the easiest. This game is kind of brutal in the fact that you cannot easily deal with things multiple levels above you. It kind of gets pretty rough. So what we're gonna do, we picked up those contracts because we want some silver so that we can level up. Now these contracts show up on the upper right in your quest log. It tells you what direction from the town you picked them up in to head. So this is Falkenra. We have 2 contracts, one to the west and one to the southwest. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run to the south and south, or to the west and the southwest. This little camp that showed up has the exclamation mark next to it. That means that is for your contract. That is where you want to go. There are 2 different encounters on the overworld. There are these camps, and then this bandit up here that is our other quest is just like a small arena fight. So I'm gonna go in and do this. It's going to put me in this small arena where I'm going to pretty much fight to the death. However many she came in with, that's crazy. Okay. So this is like one of the strongest early game abilities they will cast on you. Is called Affliction. You have to dodge it when you see their hand raise and flash blue. Otherwise, it puts a shadow dot on you that it hurts. It will kill you. But this is one of the things they changed, and it made the game so much better. So you used to have to push A to leave, but you would get pushed in here by the aggression of the NPCs, or you were chasing someone in here, and so you would try to dodge and it would just take you straight out, and the arena is over. So they changed that to where now you have to use select, which is way better. After the arenas and the camps, you will get a scoreboard telling you kind of like, oh, well, this is how you did. And anyone in the party will show up on here, whether they're, real players or people you've hired to come with you. So damage dealt, healing, damage received, revive count, death count, perfect parries, parries, and dodges. It all kind of goes together to give you a rank. And so far, I don't really know what the difference is other than just giving yourself more faction points. So yeah. So this is the other contract. We're here in a camp. This is mainly what you will be seeing is it's like just a small area of little pre-generated areas put together. The objective here is to find all the items. There's 3 items. I currently have 0 of 3. The curse is something that is on every single camp you go into, whether it's for a contract or it's just a camp you ran into on the overworld. Currently, right now, this curse, damage over time effects cost 100% more damage. That goes for you and the enemy. So any damage over time effects will be twice as effective. So yeah, that is a big thing. There are multiple things that it can be, and you will you will kind of get that figured out as you just kind of play the game. So there are gather nodes, there's rocks, bushes, and you just kind of have to gather them. They will give you your crafting materials for food, for potions, like pretty much anything that you can craft. So I try to make sure I get everything off these camps because it all is pretty important. So yeah, we went with the knight because it's just gonna be easier to just smack things. Running out of mana is very, very easy to do in this game. Okay, so this is a general. He has this big health bar. He is level 5. He will hurt. They are pretty much just consider them like a boss. Once you kill them though, they do not respawn. Everyone else will respawn no matter what. Really? You're gonna put one of these right here? That is such a dirty thing. Oh, and there's no jump. Thank you. Okay, well, we had to kill ourselves. That's unfortunate. I'm not really, I haven't really had that happen. But I guess that is a good lesson to learn that not everything is perfect, as this is an early access game. So something like that can technically happen. But as you can see, I died. So even though I had already killed this person, they are back. So our objective here is to grab every item, which means these little white shining items on the ground. There are 3 of them, and they are here randomly. Usually they're in some pretty simple spots, but see, that is item 2 of 3, which means there's now 1 more. I guess we'll see what we can do. This is gonna be rough. Okay. Damn. So for the most part, they will kind of attack as long as they have stamina. Once they run out of stamina, they will kind of run away until they get their stamina back. So yeah, as long as he has a bar of stamina, any point of stamina, he will kind of attack, 2 spells, whatever. Oh, he had a pixel. That sucks. But like I said, you want to try and get the perfect parry on the one that will drop his stamina to nothing. That will give you the option to riposte, which will be your main form of damage. But you can also, as long as you have the stamina, you can attack. Uh oh, yeah, I knew that was coming. So we're out of heals, so we kind of have to play this a little bit slower. We aggroed that person. Oh, okay. So see, this is where factions come into play. So that general is a soulless. That is one of the faction types. This person is a factionless character, and they actually will aggro and fight each other. So I think I aggroed both of them. No, there we go. So yeah, the general will just straight up fight anyone that's not part of his faction. The characters will also do the same thing. So what you're kind of looking to not have happen is every single person on this map aggro at the same time, which is very hard at the higher levels because... Okay. Can you attack her? No? Okay. Damn it. Damn it. No way you had stamina for that one, you truck. Ow, I didn't think he was coming that close. So I'm playing this kind of like slow because I can't deal with both of them at the same time. No. Okay, well. Okay, this girl is not helping. Oh, stop looking at me. Don't you dare. Just gonna dodge that. Okay, we got the riposte. Yeah. Help me out. Get him. Uh-oh, we're out of stamina. Dang it. That was the one we wanted to riposte. There we go. Now, the bad thing is... Okay, good. She did kill him. I was gonna say, she can kill me trying to kill him. So... that could have been bad, but successful kill of the general, which means when we die, the general will not respawn. Generals are non-responding enemies, but they are definitely not to be trifled with. They are super strong, and sometimes they will, when they hit 50%, they will get an extra spell that kind of just makes them very hard to deal with. Any skill that we can get, they can get, and there are I think there might be one skill that I've seen on an enemy that I have not seen us able to get. So every little camp here, every camp has one of these spots with tents and this little canopy. The canopy has a little flyer posted on it. You can read, and it will tell you how much of everything is on this camp and how many of those you have. So we have 2 of 3 items. One of the elites, the one elite that is here, is dead, and we have already gathered all 3 nodes. So all the nodes are there, the elites are done. There's one item left to get, which to finish out this camp anyways, our objective is to find all 3 items. So as soon as we get the item, we'll open the teleporter for us to leave. Which, this is that final item. So objective complete. We can go to the teleporter and leave. There are... Oh, I don't have any lockpicks. There are sometimes chests at these tents. When you open a chest, you have to lockpick it. The lockpicking, it doesn't explain how to do it. So the only way to do it is when you start to lockpick, you either hit left or right, and if it's the right direction, it will tell you, oh, it'll have a left arrow, and you have to get 3 of them in a row. You have a chance for your lockpick to break. I think that's what the 11% was, or maybe it's to not break. I'm not sure because it's never explained. And even though when I was lockpicking with my level 40 guy, it was like 70 something %, I'm still breaking lockpicks. So I don't know what it's supposed to really mean. So this is the portal to leave. At the portal spot, there is always this chest. You cannot get this chest unless you grab every item on the map. And that chest can just be any random thing. It could be weapon, could be armor, could be like, a shield or something. But once you have completed your contracts, you can go back to the town. It tells you the town, right? So it says return back to get paid, Falkenra. This is Falkenra. It even tells you how many kilometers away you are. So we go back into Falkenra. Go back to this lady, this person, whoever's here. And it's yellow, which means we have completed it. So you just hit OK. It'll cash in. We just got Lich Silver. The other one, we just get more Lich Silver. So now those contracts are done. We have more Lich Silver to level up. So we're gonna look. Let's do another stamina. Man, we're 2 off from another level. So any item you get will be typically they're unidentified. I think those are only the purple ones though, or maybe they're the higher level ones. But all your items will show up, and like this is a 2-handed axe. The 2-handed weapons are typically going to be at the left side, like your first items. Then it'll kind of go into 1-handed axes to 1-handed swords to daggers. I believe that is the layout for your inventory. If you have a shield like this one, see, this is a purple shield. It's unidentified, so you don't know what it is. You could sell it if you want, but it's not worth anything until you identify it, really. Your armor will be very similar to your weapons. They're always laid out in like the light class to the medium class to the heavy class, the further you go. So we're just gonna keep what we have because we don't like those rolls. So the quest for this piece of armor was actually to parry 20 attacks, which we completed. When you complete the quest on a piece of gear, it will increase the stat rolls on them and the item level. So this piece of armor was +1 strength. We completed the quest, so now it's +2 strength and +5 item level. So the item level was 1, it is now 6, which means your armor defenses are higher. The required stats to equip it is also higher, and then the dodge, I don't think the dodge changes, but the defensive percentage will. So we're going to talk to this guy in the inn. He will identify your items for silver, so it's 6 silver to identify all of our items. The only one we had was the shield. The shield gives 1 intelligence, 1 stamina. Now, a very important thing to note, your shields, the second you equip them, you get those stat bonuses. You do not have to have the shield out to get these stat bonuses. All right, so I'm gonna put this on, and it's going to raise my intelligence and my stamina by 1, and even though I will not be using it, I will still get those stats. So this town, the 2 contracts we can do are now done. They do respawn after, I forgot, I think it's like 2 days in the overworld. So since we don't have a contract for that, we are going to move on to another like small town. Because the smaller towns are gonna have like lower level stuff for the most part. So again, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna talk to this guy. He's got a level 4 and a level 5, so we're gonna talk to him, grab those, make sure we rest to get our potions and everything back, and we're gonna do the same thing. So one of our contracts is south, the other one is southeast, so we can already see this one. So we're gonna go in here, we're gonna do this level 5. So level 5 is to eliminate archers. There's one of them. Arrows explode on impact, causing additional fire damage. So any archer has pretty much exploding arrows, and you don't really want to get hit by those. I think you can still parry them, but instead of doing the normal amount of damage an arrow would do, it would do extra due to the explosion. So this is the second version of a camp. It's not like that area. It's pretty much just a house, and these ones can get a little rough because they typically, okay, why did my attack not go? So they typically have generals in them on the higher levels. There are sometimes it is like 2 generals and a bunch of little guys on the outside, so it can get rough because it's not a big area. So right inside the front door is your little flyer. There are 2 items, 2 elites, 1 node. We already got everything but the last item, which was right here. Items can be pretty much anything. Like that one was just 15 silver. So we have completed this entire area. It's time to leave and go look at the next one, which is southeast. So there's Klingenheim. We have to go southeast, which it can be pretty east or pretty south. It's not like a direct line kind of thing. It's more the general direction. So this contract could easily have been like over here, because even though like this is east, it's still slightly south. So if you can't find it, you might have to go more one direction than the other. There are also times where it just isn't appearing, and you kind of just gotta run around until it spawns in. So again, this one we have to eliminate archers. The curse is parry, block, reflects projectile. So any projectile will go back towards the person you are locked onto. It's not the person that shot it. It's actually who you are locked onto. So we'll see if we can't get something like that to happen. It doesn't look like we even have some archers. But again, the factions. One is a soulless, the other is a factionless, and the factionless will pretty much fight any faction. The soulless are the most hated group, so they kind of just fight everyone. This guy has some of the strong defense armor. So he's going to be taking less physical damage. Okay. So you don't have to get everything on these little camps for the contracts if you don't want to. But yeah, so this is the curse right here, right? So arrows are projectiles. You block up to block arrows. Oh, actually, never mind. You can use any direction, I guess. That's my fault. But it was, pretty sure it was mainly up. But either way, as long as you are blocking, any projectile sent your way will be sent back at the person you are locked onto. So I'm kind of hoping that one of these people has some kind of magic, so I can kind of show off sending magic back. Because you can reflect magic with a perfect parry. If you just kind of block or get like a normal parry, it'll kind of just go flying in a direction based on, you know, where you're blocking. So if you're blocking left, it'll kind of shoot off to the side to the left. But if you get a perfect parry on magic, that is a projectile. Anyways, there are some magics that are not. Do we have a lockpick? We don't have a lockpick. I didn't buy any. I forgot. So, like I said, this one has 3. The other camp had 1. So there are multiple chests that can spawn. And if you have a lockpick, you can lockpick every single one of these. We're going to check. Make sure all items, all elites. But there's 1 node. So I don't think I missed it, which there it is. Oh no, they put a bear trap. Bear traps can be very harsh. Mostly archers have them. If you step on it, you are stuck in place for like 4 seconds. The only thing you can do is block. But it also applies bleed on you, and that bleed can be very harsh. So, we picked up all the items, which means we could grab that chest. So we grab it, get the item out of it. Both contracts are done. We're gonna go back, turn them in to get our silver, so that we can get more levels. But what I'm gonna do, turn them in, we get reputation. So each town, I guess I probably forgot to mention this, each town has a faction that they're under. So this is Klingenheim. It says Knights of Ehrenfeste underneath it. That means this town belongs to the faction right there, the second one down. So Bleb, that's my faction, that's me. Knights of Ehrenfeste, right there. We have 255 rep with them. We are currently unfriendly. At the bottom, you can see there's Solus Legion. They are essentially the bad guys of this game. So you start at negative 1,000. They hate you. Everyone is pretty much against them. The number next to the town name is actually how many people are in this town. So currently there are 19 people in Klingenheim. So we have 520 silver. One of the best things in this game, and it's very important. Come to the stable, the windmill, the lumber yard, all these are pretty much going to be your shops where you can buy and sell stuff to them. You can even look at the village status if you want. But we're going to hit buy real quick, and we're going to grab this brown horse. So the horse is the item that will give you a horse on the overworld so you can travel faster. It's very, very important. Now, one of the things that I had to find out the hard way, when you hire a companion, you need a horse for every single one in the party. So I buy one now, right? So now I can ride on the overworld. If I hire someone, I no longer can ride on the overworld until I get another horse. So if you're gonna hire someone and you already have a horse, you better make sure you can buy another horse if you want to continue to ride the horse on the overworld. That was a bit rough trying to run back and forth when I already had one horse. So we identified our items so that we can hopefully get a better weapon. I mean, the axe does more damage, and I do like the axes. So this axe only has scaling in strength. It does not scale off of any of the other 3 main stats. So scaling for damage can scale off of 4 stats: your strength, your agility, your intelligence, and your faith. Those can go, that scaling can be on any weapon based on what roll you get on them. So this axe has strength. Right now it only scales with strength, but it scales at a 215%. So the base damage is 143 plus 81 bonus damage from our strength scaling, giving it the 224. That is currently 22 damage higher than our utility sword that we have been using. Even though our utility sword gives us 2 strength and it is 5 item levels higher than it would be, this war axe is still technically better. So we're gonna equip that, and hopefully we can get the quest done for it to give us another strength and upgrade its item level. So all this other stuff that we have, faith, vitality, okay, we're gonna put this on. So vitality is your health. Faith, not really useful for anything we have, but I would rather have 2 for vitality than 1 stamina, because also intelligence doesn't help us out. So what we're gonna do is make sure everything else we have is good. Then we're going to sell all of these items to the shop. So go sell. You gotta use left and right bumper to, cycle through the tabs. Hold A to sell what you are highlighted on. Your items, if you want, like I said, the coins are pretty much just, you're holding on to them for silver. So if any given time I want extra silver, I can sell these coins. So I kind of hold on to them for that, but you can sell them at any point in time if you want. So obviously the better version of the coins, so there's a copper coin, a silver coin, a gold coin, and then a platinum coin, and as they go up they give you more silver based on which coin it is. So we have 265. That should be enough for a new level. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna level up again. I'm gonna do strength, just get a little bit more damage. So the contracts here are done. What I'm looking for, and I don't think I have one yet, which actually I think I can buy one. Because this is the most important thing that people have not really figured out, and it's never explained to you. Okay, we can. So this is a rune. It teleports you to the hideout. It's 29 silver right now, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to buy it because we're just going to use it. Now, you cannot use it on the overworld. You have to be inside of a town or something to use it. So I'm going to use it. Go back to the hideout. And here is one of the bigger items. This is where it teleports you. This item here, Crystal of Dispersion. This is what will give you your other potion. So you want to come to the cook, the person that you assign your potions with. It will now say upgrade potion. You do that, it gives you another potion to use. So now, as you can see, I have 3 healing potions, 1 mana potion. There is a second one of these, and I believe it is in the castle town, but I'm not 100% sure because I found it and didn't know what it was, and I cannot remember exactly where I found it. But yeah, that is a big important piece of this game, is getting that item to get more potions so that you can make sure your health and your mana stay up. But other than that, that is pretty much it. There's not really anything else that's, you know, too important to really know. Directional combat is something you kind of will just get the feeling for as you do it. Like I said, I highly recommend controller over mouse and keyboard. But yeah, you will swing left, right, or up. You block left, right, or up based on what direction the attack is coming from. Projectiles can typically be blocked with any direction. There are some magic spells that you have to dodge. You cannot block them. There is no parry for that. So one of the big ones, and this is one you will see a lot, is Light Ray. So you will see them kind of like lean down, kneeling on the ground with like a golden aura on them, and after about 3 seconds a beam of light will just strike down on top of you. So you, after like 2.5 seconds, you'll want to dodge, and that will dodge that incoming damage. The only thing about this is it looks like they could be casting heal. They have the same starting animation, so you kind of need to figure out if they're doing heal or light ray first, which preferably just wait the 2.5 seconds and dodge, and it will either do light ray or heal. If they heal, that's whatever. You know from then on that's what they have. They have heal, they don't have light ray, because I have not ran into someone that has both, unless they were a general. The other big one is Quick Affliction. That is when they raise their hand and have the blue like hue around it. That applies the shadow damage over time. That is pretty dangerous at the start. That is another one that you absolutely have to dodge. And you want to do that the second you see their hand go up with the blue hue. You want to dodge because it's very fast. You kind of get used to it. After a while, it will frustrate you from time to time. Venomous Bolt is the poison. It is a projectile, but when it lands, it does hit in like an AoE. So if you don't block it, or say you're the one throwing it, if you see a group of people, they're not aggroed yet, you can launch this at the start, and when it lands, it will hit like the entire group of people if you threw it right. For your magic, Ice Shard, that is a projectile. You can block it, send it back if you perfect parry it. Lesser Fireball, same thing, projectile. Frost Nova can be a very big pain. This is another one. They'll kind of raise their hand with a blue hue, and you have to dodge. If you don't dodge, this big frost nova explodes around them, locking you in a block of ice. It doesn't really do damage, but that's because you become immobile until they break it, or I think it's like 5 seconds. It's very insane. But if you are hit with either ice shard or frost nova, you will be like chilled. It'll have like a snowflake debuff on you where you cannot dodge. Your dodge is gone until that debuff is gone. Same with Blast Wave. Blast Wave is a fire version of Frost Nova. It actually does damage, but if you take it, it will keep you from dodging until a debuff is gone. These two are very strong. So yeah, those are two that you really need to watch out for. Lightning Strike and Chain Lightning can be very strong. Chain Lightning has killed me plenty of times. I don't think I've really seen too many of these. Arcane Vortex is another one. It's like kind of just a gravity well. It will pull you in, and you can't do anything. So you kind of need to dodge it. Otherwise, you're kind of just stuck in place until it's gone, and you can only block. Let's see. That's about it. Bear Trap, again, it doesn't have an activation time. So if you are meleeing some of the archers and they bend down, you're going to be trapped in a bear trap. It will keep you there for like 4 seconds, and the bleed can be overwhelming. I have died many a time to the bear trap bleed. And then you guys can figure out about charge. It's another good time to deal with. But yeah. Oh, gym slots. I forgot. I saw this gym slot. So some of the equipment you can get will have gym slots like this one. There are red, blue, black, and white. And there are different... Okay, well, I have this one at least. So there are different items that can be placed in these slots. So like this one, Fire Sapphire, it will plus fire spells, which means it's going to increase the damage of fire abilities, but it matches a blue socket, so it can only go on an item that has a blue socket. So the shield I have has a black socket, so it can't go in there, and you need one of the items that has that, which I have plenty of items on my other character for all that. But for a beginner's guide, you'll kind of just figure it out. The main thing is knowing the scaling that's on what weapon. That is a big one people kind of don't understand, because some people are coming from like a soul style game where, well, an axe, that's a strength weapon, so it should only scale with strength, right? No, I had an axe I was using on my assassin for a while that scaled with a lot of agility and faith, because it gave me agility and faith. So the scaling for those was way higher than it was strength. So it's just one of those. Any weapon can work with any build as long as it has the right scaling and it gives you the right stats. And based on the stats that are rolled on it are going to change the required attribute stats. So it's should always be the 4 main like damage scaling, right? So strength, agility, and intelligence and faith. Those are all going to be your required attribute stats that will vary about using different weapons, different spells. So a good one like light ray, you need 7 strength but also 10 faith. I currently do not have 10 faith, so the damage is red, which means it's doing less damage because I don't have the stats, and it's going to cost more mana and energy just to cast it. Energy is your stamina, because it does take stamina to cast spells. That is pretty standard for like Souls games. So it's going to cost more and deal less damage because I don't have the required stats. Now, naturally, I don't have the skill, so I don't really have to worry about it. But if it shows red, it means you're missing something. If I take Light Ray and I'm going to boost it to the next level, even though I have the required stats for Light Ray 1, doesn't mean I have the required stats for Light Ray 2. But one of the things they did do, and it is very nice that they did that, is I guess I'll show it with charge. We'll just grab charge. So charge 1 was like 6 strength, charge 2 is 22 strength. I can still grab it, but everything is going to cost more just to use it. Now, with abilities, you equip them. Charge level 1, charge level 2. So as you can see, level 1, everything is white. I have the required stats to do it. Charge 2, I do not. So the damage is lower than it normally would be. The mana cost is higher and the energy cost is higher, because I am missing 2 strength. So I can equip, even though I have both, I can equip charge 1 and charge 2 on different spots and use that as I see fit. But naturally, I probably won't use charge 2 until I get the required stats, so it's actually doing what's required and everything. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this beginner's guide. Like I said, it's short, but I'm just trying to get the basis of everything across. But it's a very simple game once you get it figured out. The combat can be very brutal. You typically die pretty quick, but depending on your own build and stats, things can die very fast as well. Or if you get vitality and strength and everything, like, you can get some pretty high-end armor that will block a lot of physical damage, and you'll have the health to survive a lot of hits. So it's just kind of very Souls-like with your build on what can and does happen. And yeah, that's it. If you want to fast level, Conquest is your way. If you have friends, invite them, play with them. You can have up to 4 people in a party. If you want to kind of casually do it, like my first character, I was very casual about it. I was just going from town to town to town, grabbing contracts and going out, completing them, turning them in, and just moving on to the next town. Quests in general have changed since release. So on release, these quests would give silver and an item. So it was just very grab a quest, go do it, no matter what. Just go get it done as fast as possible, come back, get new quests. And they kind of changed that to where killing things gives you more silver now than it did on early access release. Excuse me. And quests are no longer like super required for anything. So contracts give you nothing but silver. Normal quests from anyone else, they'll have you do specific things. So like this guy, he has a quest, heal with your potion. So I have to heal 3,000 health just using my potion, and I have to loot one chest. Once I get done with that, I can come back to him, or I can go back to the person in the church that gives the contracts and turn it in through him. Because any quest you have accepted can be turned in through the main NPC at the churches in the towns. So this quest would give me a purple curved blade and 2 copper coins. This one would give me a white dagger and 2 copper coins. You know, I come in here, deal here. Okay, none of them had a quest. Hold on. Okay, none of them have a quest. What is going on? Okay, this shopkeep has a quest. So, shopkeep, level 7 quest. Complete bounty mission, loot 1 chest. You would get a white curved blade and a night steel shard, which again, night steel shards are used to upgrade your weapons. This one would give you peasant clothing and ivory crystal. So they changed what you get from quests, which was huge because it felt very bad to grab some of these quests because some of them weren't fast and easy to do. Like this one, it's just you dodge 6 attacks and complete a mission, right? So like they weren't easy quests that would take a while just to get, you know, like 40 silver and 1 item. Now the personal quests are kind of, you just kind of handpick with what you're looking for, right? So if I'm built to use a one-handed weapon, or in this case a two-handed weapon, because the curved blade is a big two-handed weapon. So if I was trying to find a better two-handed sword, I would want to take this quest in hopes that the curved blade that came out of it is better than what I had, right? So the higher the level of the quest, the higher the level of whatever the reward is. So this curved blade would be a higher level than, say, if I did like a level 2 that gave me a curved blade. So that curved blade would hopefully be better, but it's purely based on what's rolled on it, because I'm strength, but then that curved blade is intelligence. So then it's just worthless and you just kind of grind out more. So yeah, they really changed that, and it made the game a lot more bearable on just doing quests in general and taking quests. You can be actually picky with what quests you get, because you only can hold 5 quests, and now you're just looking for very specific quests. Oh my god, Margaret. So this was actually the NPC I hired to be my tank for my assassin. So you can inspect them. So for 12 silver, inspect. Margaret is a zealot +1. So 8 basic. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I wish I did. But she has +2 to strength and +4 to faith. So she is a strength faith character. And that kind of gives her the basis of kind of like a tanky healer, because faith is used for like the healing spells and everything. Strength is used for damage of God, excuse me, of like frontlining. So you could offer to join, which is 77 silver. I don't have it, but I don't have enough lich silver. But you could add her to your team, and now your silver is used to not only level yourself, and buy gear and all that, it is also going to be used to level up your companion. So it kind of hiring people instead of just spamming conquests and using every little bit of silver for yourself is going to, you know, obviously be slower. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Once you get higher level, things kind of start to go sideways if you're trying to solo everything, because the quest will have more than one person at each of those little spawn points on like the camps and stuff. That one person will be 2 people, then 3 people, and then once you're max level, you'll be doing like contracts of level 45 and like above, and there are 4 people spawning at that one point, and trying to do a 1v4 is definitely not something you should be looking to do. But that should cover pretty much the basic of everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any comments, make sure you drop them below. I'll see what I can find out if I don't have the answer. So thanks for watching.